All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are looking at 5.5 now, where we will be dividing polynomials. So up to now, we have done the other operations, addition, subtraction, and multiplication. And now we're going to divide using both long division and synthetic division. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So you remember doing long division way back in the day? You were in 5th grade. You probably liked some really terrible TV shows and thought farts were still funny. Maybe you think farts are still funny because they are kind of funny. But we did long division, right? And the process was 4 steps. You divide, then you multiply, then you subtract, and then you bring down. Well, as it turns out, this process is going to be the same for polynomials. So the first thing we do is divide. We take 56 divided by 21, and that ends up being 2. Then we multiply 2 times 21, which makes 42. Then we subtract, which makes 14 here. And then we bring down the 2. We repeat this process over and over again until we have nothing left to bring down. And then we can see what is divisible. So let's do a couple more steps of this. We won't do the whole thing. 142 divided by 21, that's 6. Or 6 goes into it. It's not an exact. And then 6 times 21 gives us 126. Then we subtract, and that's 16. And then we bring down the 6. Then we do it again. We divide 166 divided by 21. That gives us 7. 7 times 21 is 147. We subtract. That's 19. Then we bring down the 1. You get the idea. We keep going until we get to the end, and then this top part up here is our solution. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with polynomials. So this thing we're dividing by is going to be x squared minus 3x plus 5, and that is being divided into 3x to the 4th minus 5x cubed. Now, we're missing a squared term, so we do need to write in that squared term, plus 4x minus 6. Okay? So same thing. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Divide, we're only going to look at the first term and the first term. So 3x to the 4th divided by x squared. So 3x to the 4th divided by x squared is going to give us 3x squared. Now notice I'm writing the x squared above the x squared term here because I want to just keep the same terms vertically aligned. Okay, so that's my divide. Now I'm going to multiply. 3x squared times x squared is 3x to the 4th. 3x squared times negative 3x is negative 9x cubed. And 3x squared times 5 is positive 15x squared. So notice that I multiplied the 3x squared by the entire expression. And again, I vertically aligned the terms when I did that multiplication. So now we subtract, and remember we're subtracting the whole polynomial. So this is 3x to the 4th minus 3x to the 4th, and that's 0. This is negative 5 minus negative 9, which is a positive 4x cubed. And this is 0 minus 15, which is negative 15x squared. Then, last step, I bring down the next term in the function. So, we've done the 4 steps, and now I'm going to do them again. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So I start again. And again, when I do this division step, I'm looking at the first term here. So this is 4x cubed divided by x squared. And 4x cubed divided by x squared is 4x. And so that is my next term in my solution. Now I multiply. I distribute the 4x to this function, this polynomial over here. 4x times x squared makes 4x cubed. 4x times negative 3x makes negative 12x squared. And 4x times 5 makes positive 20x. Now we subtract. 4x cubed minus 4x cubed is 0. Negative 15 minus negative 12 is negative 3x squared. Don't forget that you're subtracting. 4 minus 20 is negative 16x. And then I bring down the last term. I've got one more time. I got to do this one more time. We're going to divide starting here. This is negative 3x squared divided by x squared, and that's negative 3. So my solution up here, I add the negative 3 there. I multiply. Negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative 3x, positive 9x. Negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. I subtract now. That's 0. Negative 16 minus 9 is negative 25x. Negative 6 minus negative 15 is positive 9. Now, I don't have anything left to bring down. So this thing down here is called my remainder. And what I'm going to do with the remainder is add it on to the end of my solution up here. So I'm going to add the negative 25x plus 9. But it's not negative 25x plus 9. It's the remainder when I divide it by this. So if we take negative 25x plus 9 and divide it by this x squared minus 3x plus 5, I get the fraction that is left over when I divide by x squared minus 3x plus 5. And that right there is my final solution. 3x squared plus 4x minus 3 plus negative 25x plus 9 over x squared minus 3x plus 5. So there's lots of ways to make mistakes here. There's lots of different operations that need to be done, but the individual steps themselves are things that we have studied a lot. Okay, we just need to put it together and not make a lot of simple errors. Okay, so let's do one more example of the whole thing, and then we'll call this video done. Okay, so we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and I am dividing x minus 2 into x cubed plus 5x squared minus 7x plus 2. Okay, so step 1, x cubed divided by x. That's x squared. So x squared goes in my solution. Again, vertically aligning the squareds for good organization. Now we multiply. X squared times x makes x cubed. X squared times negative 2 is negative 2x squared. Now we subtract. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. 5 minus negative 2 is 7x squared. Then we bring down. Now we start back over at the top, right? As soon as we bring down, we go back to the top and divide. So divide. 7x squared divided by x. This term and this term. That's 7x. So the next thing in my solution is plus 7x. Now I multiply. 7x times x is 7x squared. 7x times negative 2 is negative 14x. Now I subtract. 7x squared minus 7x squared is 0. Negative 7x minus 14x, minus negative 14x, excuse me, is positive 7x. Then I bring down the 2. And I keep going. So 7x divided by x gives me 7. So I add a plus 7 up here. Then I multiply. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Then I subtract. This becomes 0. 2 minus negative 14 is 16. So 16 is my remainder, which means my final answer is x squared plus 7x plus 7, those up there, plus my remainder over what I was dividing by, my divisor. And that right there is my final solution. All right, there's some practice on your notes, so give that a try, and then we'll do the one more on your own question before we look synthetically.